Alrighty, hey everyone, welcome back. So today was a pretty good day for the miners again. Bitcoin not so much. We're kind of used to it right now though. There's already a lot of questions here in the chat as I'm kind of catching up on things here. So we'll get to all those questions when we get into the Q&A. We got to talk about obviously Bitfarms today. They are doing a convertible note. Stock is down after hours right now because of it. Should you panic? We'll talk about it. We'll also have Canon reporting, and then we also have the short data on all the miners. So we have all that stuff to go through, plus some really good story on AI as well from Google that Sundar Pichai posted on X and probably elsewhere. We're going to cover that really quick. Also, look at the miners, how they did today, Bitcoin, all that. We got to get through all that as always. You guys know that, but we also have to get through this. Not financial advice for him only. Do your own research. Full disclosure below that. Hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously here. And let's take a look at what happened here today with Bitcoin. Bitcoin's still battling. For whatever reason, it's battling with who knows. But it is battling. Bitcoin was down today a little bit, 2% on the day here. We're up a little bit on the new day. I mean, we keep dipping down to this range of 110,000, 150 roughly. We've seen that once, right? We did it at least twice here recently in the last couple of days. So we'll see. I wonder if I'm guessing it's probably the trade wars fears with China and the U.S. there. I think that's the major cause there. We'll see if we can get past this. Good news that I saw on the trade side of things was India, I think, is going to be no longer buying Russian oil, so their 50% tariffs should be going off, I think. And so that's going to be a good sign there. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. Markets otherwise kind of mixed here. Dow Jones was down, Nasdaq was up, S&P was up. Russell 2000 was also up as well, so that was actually pretty good there. Miners, like I said, had a pretty good day. Ethereum today was also down a little bit here, was down 3.37%. Excuse me. Bitfarms had another nice day today. It was up 9.85% on the day. BitDeer, oh my gosh, 28.73%. It was up actually even higher than that. Got to a high of $27.80. This was based on their report yesterday of them going more towards like the IREN way of trying to get GPUs themselves, build customers that way, becoming a neo cloud more or less. On that one, Cango was basically flat today, 0%. Cypher was up just a little bit, 0.67%. Cleanspark was up nicely as well, 5.5. And excuse me. Oh my gosh, the allergies are kicking my butt right now. I don't know why, but sometimes they do. So I do apologize for the sneezing or sniffling when it does occur. I do apologize in advance. Okay, we'll try and work through it. CORZ was up 5.28% today. Hive was down actually 1.59%. Hut 8 was up nicely, 7.94%. IREN was down a little bit, 2.27%. After reaching a new high there at $74.15. So some profit taking happening there, I believe. On that one, not too worried on it right now. Mara was up 2.7% here after getting a nice new 52-week high as well, 23.45 there. Riot was down just a little bit, 0.27. Wolf was up just a little bit, 0.06% after getting close to their yesterday's high as well of $16.19 there, coming down a little bit. Bitcoin holding companies here had a rough day. MicroStrategy was down 1.3%. Galaxy was actually up 1.8%. Block was down just a little bit, 0.07%. Coin was down also 1.54%. Metaplan was down 5%. This thing is trending down lower. Right, we're seeing that with some of these treasury companies here. Exodus was down 1.15%. Nexon was up 0.9%. Semler was down 0.82%. I mean, you're seeing a lot of these guys here getting like new lows here recently on it. Phoenix was flat. Game was up a little bit, 0.73%. Small miners, when we look at these, there was some strange activity in some of these guys, you could say. Annie was up 13%, really for no reason there. Argo was down 1.56%. DigiPower was up 6.29%. DMG was up 5.93%. Mawson, for some reason, was up huge today. Got to a high of $2. It was up 43% at the close, but I'm guessing it was probably close to like 90-some% there. Can you say manipulation in that stock? I think that's what's happening there, really. Canon was up also nicely today, another 8.89%. So it's had a nice run here in the last 3 days, getting to a high of $2.05. The Bitcoin miner ETFs here had a good day as well. BitQ was up 1.64%. BKCH was up 3%. DAP was up 2.28%. WGMI was up another 3.31% there as well, getting to a high of 67.89. Ethereum holding companies here mixed as well, not that great. BMNR was only up 1.66. BitDigital was up down 1.69. BTCS was up 0.9. Game was down 1.7. SBET was down 3.13%. I mean, you can see a lot of these guys are just trading sideways here, looks like, on the chart, going up a little bit, coming back down. Other things that we take a look at here, ABTC was down another 2.95% there. Wi-Fi, which is BitDigital's subsidiary there, was down 2.55, sorry. Open was down 3.4. Oracle was up 1.55. Nibius was down 1.81. Soluna today was up crazy, up 53%, right? We saw that with Mawson also. Small company, small market caps, easy to manipulate there. Backed was down 5%. Fermi was down 3.68. And that's it on the miners here, and everything else that we kind of keep an eye on, see where things are going. So kind of crazy with some of the small miners, right? They're having these huge pumps and dumps, it seems like. We'll see how they do tomorrow on that. Okay. As far as the miners here in the after hours right now, looking at Bitdeer's up another 2.32% after having a great day, 28.73% there. Bitfarms is actually, let's see, where's this one going to be at? This one's down 4.17%. I think that's based on the news that came out for them for the convertible notes. We've seen this with other miners as well. When they do convertible notes, the stock goes down for a day or a couple of days, and then it finally goes back up. We'll talk about that in a second here. Cypher is down 1.66%. Cleanspark, is down just a little bit, 0.65%. CORZ Scientific is down 0.25%. Hive Digital is down 0.88. Hut 8 is actually up 2% there, 2.02. IREN is up 1.5%, so that's nice. Mara is down 0.09%. Riot Platforms is down 0.05%. TerraWolf is up 0.39% there right now. Soluna Holdings is up another 4.19% after having, obviously, a huge day today, up 53% there. Okay. What else we got here? Really quick, Bitcoin here for the month of October right now is, let's see, where is it at? Down 2.48%. October is not working out for us, at least right now. We'll see if the other last 2 weeks of the month will be any better for us. But we were expecting a much, much better October than we have seen here. The trade wars, everything else, that's having an impact on Bitcoin here. Historically, as you can see here in Bitcoin over the years past, we've only had 2 red months, 2018, 2014. Everything else has been in the green, and usually really nice gains on that as well. So we'll wait and see. Maybe we do a turnaround here in the second part of the month here. We'll see. Bitcoin ETF inflows really quick as well. Might as well take a look at that while we're looking at everything else. Surprisingly, BlackRock actually sold yesterday while they were buying the last couple of days when we had actually red days. But overall, we were still up positive 102 million yesterday. Today, it looks like we're down 94 million. We'll see where BlackRock comes in at that point. Okay. And a couple of good news stories that we do have here on AI that I was able to find here today. Not much happening elsewhere. I did see Meta is building out a 1 gigawatt AI data center in, I believe it's El Paso, Texas. So that's progressing there. And then this is from Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Google here. An exciting milestone for AI in science. Our C2S scale 27 billion foundation model built with Yale and based on Gemma generated a novel hypothesis about cancer cellular behavior, which scientists experimentally validated in living cells. With more preclinical and clinical tests, this discovery may reveal a promising new pathway for developing therapies to fight cancer. This is the hope here for AI, right? AI is going to be much, much, much smarter than all of us combined here eventually, and it will hopefully lead to a lot of cures for a lot of diseases that are ailing people and even killing people here, that people can actually live much longer lives going forward. That's the holy grail, I think, in AI, right? Being able to do that, and also in the material sciences, other things as well. It's exciting times to be living right now with all the advances that we're seeing here in medical research and everything else. People in general just living much longer here. So I'm all for that. Love seeing that. Okay. And this is from the Kobasi letter. Breaking President Trump says that India's Prime Minister Modi has assured him that India will no longer be buying Russian oil. On August 27th, Trump imposed a 50% tariff on India as punishment for buying Russian oil. U.S.-India trade deal on the way, ? Right? So that would be good news. At least we would get that as a possible bullish catalyst here for Bitcoin and other things as well. All right, onto the news of the Bitcoin miners here. Bitfarms today announced proposed offering of 300 million of convertible senior notes. So this is opportunistic capital raise for general corporate purposes. Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, good on them to do this. This is right. The stock is hot. Good time to do this. This will just shore up their balance sheet even more, which is already pretty good. But this will definitely help out there, and then they can use the proceeds for, building out data centers and things like that. Let's see here. Either net proceeds from this offering or cash on hand to be used to purchase cash-settled cap calls to offset economic dilution up to a targeted cap of 125% premium to the last reported sale price of Bitfarms common shares on NASDAQ on the date of pricing, right? So this is going to be 2031 notes, right? Due 2031, 300 million. They're also giving a 13-day period beginning on and including the date on which the convertible notes are first issued up to an additional 60 million aggregate principal amount of the convertible notes there to the investors. Okay, so this is great. I'm all for this. We've seen other companies do the same thing. We've seen Cypher, TeraWolf. I mean, TeraWolf had a huge deal that they're trying to get 3 point some billion now. But we've seen obviously IREN, Cypher, Cleanspark. Everybody, I think pretty much everybody in the space has done some sort of a convertible note, which has worked out pretty well for them. So this is great news, and congrats to the Bitfarms team there. Looking forward to much more growth here happening in the next couple quarters. So this is good. All right. Lastly, here we have Cango. Cango announces their September 2025 production update. Pretty good update overall. Number of Bitcoin mined here is a little bit less than what they had in August. They had 616.6 Bitcoin here for September. Average number of Bitcoin produced per day was 20.55, so it's down a little bit from where they were in August as well, 21.41. That's the result of network hash rate going up, difficulty going up, right? You're going to be generating less. Total number of Bitcoin held increased to 5,810. Deployed hash rate still 50 exahash. Average operating hash rate did increase here to 44.85 from 43.74. Okay, so that's basically the update there. Not much else to talk about in here. Particularly the numbers that we do have here for them. We'll get to the shorted data here in a second. Cango right now has about 177 million shares outstanding. Stock price $4.37. Market cap 774 million as it is. Performance over the last 12 weeks have not been great, right? They're down 13.5% from 12 weeks ago, down 12% from 8 weeks ago, down 3.1% from 4 weeks ago, and last week they were down 9.07% there, right? Current hash rate 50 exahash, future hash rate 50 exahash. They're fully installed as it is right now. Zero hash rate growth going forward here. They do have 5,810 Bitcoin in HODL. That's valued at about 644 million right now as it is. Not too far off from where they are with their market cap. So HODL market cap 83.3%. That seems like that's the only thing that's really holding that company up in value-wise right now as it is. So each share has about $3.64 of HODL in it. Bitcoin mining here, you can see they peaked out in August with 663.7. They're down to 616 there in September for that. Estimated revenue run rate is 837 million for them. Let me double check that. I can't remember if I updated that or not. I may have not. September I did. Okay. I just want to double check. I thought I maybe forgot to do that. Revenue here peaked in August as well, 76.36 million. They're down to 69.78 million right now. HODL has continued to increase as well, so that's good to see there. Hash rate, we're going to be at 50 exahash for a while until they announce something that they're buying sites or something. Who knows? Right, so we're going to be kind of stagnant there on hash rate going forward. As a result, we'll see declines most likely in the Bitcoin production here going forward for them. With the network hash rate going up, like I said, difficulty is going up still. That's going to be a result of that, right? They're going to be mining less Bitcoin. The only thing that's going to help them going forward is Bitcoin price actually going up, where they're going to generate actually more revenue on the even less Bitcoin being mined there. All right, BTC per exahash efficiency 12.3, down from 13.3 from the prior month here. They haven't sold any Bitcoin. They pretty much held on to everything that they have here. Going down here to institutions and analyst ratings here, we do have one less institution from last month, down to 56 here. Number of shares actually did increase by institutions to 31.58 million. Percentage is now owned 22.53. We still only have the one single buy rating there, and the price target actually went down a little bit to $8.02 across the board here instead of the $8.04. So not much of a change there. They probably should have left it at the 8.04 instead of going down 2 cents. Not much of a change there. For the month here, they were operating approximately, based on my numbers here, 26.8 days, which is an improvement over, no, it's actually a decrease. They were at 27.17 days in August, so they're down a little bit there, not much, on the days operational. And based on all this, are they undervalued or overvalued? Right now, if we look at their revenue for September, multiply it times 12 months, right? If as long as Bitcoin goes up and their revenue stays in line here, we're looking at somewhere between $5.67 to $9.45. They're at $4.37 as it is right now. And that's with a PE of 8 on them, right? Because majority of the sites that they have are all hosted, right? They only have, I think, a 50 megawatt site that they purchased recently, but everything else, all their machines are hosted. So that's why we have them a little bit lower there. Big thing for them going forward is they have to start, buying up more sites, whether it's sites that they have machines hosted at, or just buying up new sites to build out and possibly getting into AI data centers as well. Because as we know, being asset light is not a great way to mine Bitcoin. You can do it for a short period of time, I think, but eventually you definitely want to have control over your station, your data centers, your megawatts, all of that definitely helps improve the bottom line there tremendously. So that is it on Cango there. And lastly, we're going to take a look at here is the short data that I have on these guys here. I updated this today. This is as of 9:30. So going back about 2 weeks here. The data is always a little bit laggy. It's always about 2 weeks behind on it. But here's what we do have. Current number of shares shorted here. It looks like we got Marathon with 101 million shares shorted. Riot at 66 million, Cypher at 64, CORZ at 62, Cleanspark at 56, IREN at 35, BitTBT at 21, Hive at 15 million, and Cango 1.8 million shorted there. Percentage of average floated shorted is Marathon's got the most shares shorted float, 28%, BitTBT 25, almost 26% there, Cypher 24% also, Core 22, Cleanspark 20, Riot 19, IREN 15%, Hive 7%, and Cango only 1% there. Excuse me. Here you can see what their current market cap is and what the value of the shares shorted there is for each of these guys. I'm not going to go through that. We are going to go take a look at the number of shares shorted change from last time. So going back about 2 weeks, right? We had a decrease in Riot of 7.9 million shares shorted. Marathon 6.2 million decrease. BitTBT 1.6 million as well. Cango, we actually saw a slight increase. Hive as well. Cleanspark about 1.19 million increase. IREN 4.27 million. Core 6.84. And Cypher, 14.43 million. I think that is because of the convertible notes there. That's why we saw IREN obviously go up a little bit here. But that's, trying to remember, when did they do the convertible notes? Was it before or after this? It might be even before, so it might not, or afterwards. So they might be not including that data there. All right, percentage from last time as far as shares shorted change here. Cypher is up 28% in shares shorted there. Riot's actually down 10.65. CORZ up 12.3. BitTBT is down 7%. Cleanspark is up 2%. Marathon is down 6%. IREN is up 13%. And Hive is up 4%. And the difference between last time, which was about 2 weeks ago. And then price 12 weeks ago, we can obviously see how the stocks have done here. IREN's up huge, 237% from 12 weeks ago, along with Hive, 181%. Cypher is even up 162% there. Cleanspark up 61, Riot up 44, Core up 34, and then we got BitTBT up 21%, Marathon up 8.1, and Cango actually being down 13.5%. And then when we look at the percentage change from 12 weeks ago on the short change, we can see here that Cypher has the highest increase, 38%, followed by Core 21%, Marathon 16, IREN 6%, and then we've seen a number of shorts getting decreased over the last 12 weeks. Hive is down 2%, Cango is down 7%, Riot is down 10%, BitTBT down 12%, and Cleanspark is down 31%. So that's nice to see on Cleanspark because they were at one point one of the highest shorted there when we looked at them all. This is looking at historical data that we do have on these guys. And we can see here that BitTBT, right, kind of around the 22 million, 21 million range here for quite a while here, going back to the middle of April. Cango, same thing, about 1 million something, 1.6 is actually increasing here a little bit for them. Cypher, recently between 40 and 64 million, but recently it was obviously down in 915, 930 showing up higher here. Cleanspark, as I've said, it's been coming down here for them. We can definitely see that. They were at 90.7 million shares shorted there. It's down to 56 million now. So that's really good to see that. Core has been down, up a little bit on that one. Hive as well, 10 million. It's been increasing on Hive as well. They're up to 15 million there as their stock price has been going up. I think that's the reason why it's being shorted there. IREN right? Between 26, where they started out in the middle of April. Now they're at 35 million. Not much of, that's not that bad of an increase for IREN, actually. So that's actually looking pretty good there. Marathon has been kind of all over the place here. 91 million down to 84 million, up to 106 million, right? And then up to 107 million and down again here. So definitely a lot of shorts in Marathon right now as it is. And then lastly, Riot here. Riot has actually been coming down here slowly but surely. Has been coming down from 84 million middle of April all the way down to 66.2 million in end of September there. So that's a good sign as well for them. But yeah, that's kind of the way the data stacks up right now as it is. Okay. So that is it. That's all I got for you guys today. As always, spreadsheets are available to my Patreon members. Thank you to all their support there. Greatly appreciate it. Greatly appreciate you guys coming in to watch this as well. But the link is down in the description if you want to join for a couple bucks a month and you get access to all this data that I have on the miners and things like that. All right, that is it. Let's get into Q&A here. See what we have to say, if anything. And I need to take a sip of water because my throat's starting to get dry along with my mouth. All right, let's get into it here. Bear with me. As always, questions, if you could preface those with your question mark or a Q, I would appreciate it. That would be wonderful. And let's see, let me get up over here. I'm going to scroll to the top and get through all your guys' questions. And, you know, it might take me a little while, but we'll get through it all. Let me see, what do I got here? I want to see what's going on here. Video monitor 2. Okay. We'll start off with the first couple of questions that we had up here. Let me see here. All right, there we go. AAQ14 says, hi, Seb, I started following your channel recently. You do great work. Thank you for that. I see a lot of people talking about Canon. What do you think about this one? Looking to invest a tiny amount and see where it goes. Canon, like I've said, I mean, it's having a nice run here recently. The main reason for that run is, let me see, I think it was buy was initiated on them or a price target. What was it? Can't remember here recently, at least. Recent events on this one was, 2 days ago, Canon is maintained at a buy by Rosenblatt, right? Canon price target maintained with $8 share by BTIG. So you can see that here. So that's one of the reasons it's going up. And it's, yeah, I mean, if you're going to $8 a share from $2.05, that's definitely a possible nice run up there. So yeah, I think you can put a little bit into it. Historically, it has not done as great or nowhere near what Bitcoin has done here. And you can see it's been kind of floundering after reaching last December a nice price of $3.27. So at $8 price target for that is really high here. I would think there might be some resistance there, but I mean, going back to $8, we're looking at going back all the way to 2022 there, right? You can see how it's just been continuing to slide here in price while we've seen Bitcoin obviously go up a little bit and other miners do much better at that. So a little bit, I think that's fine, but it's your choice on that. I have no qualms with it. We've obviously seen Canon get some deals with some miners as well for their ASICs, which is nice to see on that part of it. Yeah, so I'm okay with it, right? Let it ride, let it see where it goes. But again, that's your choice, not financial advice. All right, let's get the next one here. Kaz says, I was almost in tears looking at my Bitfarms stack today. I can actually retire before 45. Congratulations there, Kaz. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, Christopher, thoughts on Canon? Think of having some small exposure to this. Yeah, I talked about that one here already. So you know my stance on it. Christopher also here. To still hold tight to IREN, Cypher, Bitfarms. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I'm still holding on to tight on those two as well. All right, Zelo, woohoo. First time catching a live stream. Awesome, thanks for coming in. All right, Guy, do you still believe Cleanspark can stay around $22 since BTC is not moving up and it's not time to trim the miners? I think Cleanspark can go higher than that, but it would be dependent on providing some news on HPCI ambitions, right? If they provide something on that, some updates or something, I think that'll help the stock. But I'd like to see it to go above that. I think it still should be between like $25 and $35 in value. So I'd like to see it somewhere around there right now as it is. As far as time to trim miners, I'm still holding on, but we're obviously keeping a close eye on everything here. I don't want to, what's the word I'm looking there for? I shouldn't say I don't want to. I mean, I want to take some profits, but I think there's still more room to run here. So that's kind of where I'm at right now on it, right? We'll see. All right, Smitty's asking, what's happening after hours with Bitfarms? Should I move some of it to IREN and Cleanspark? Hive is not really moving. Bitfarms, well, Bitfarms, we talked about that, right? The convertible note there, 300 million. That's the reason why anytime we've seen a miner do that, we've seen the stock go down for a day or a couple of days, and then it bounces back up. So there might be some selling pressure on that as the market wants to get into a much better price. So be prepared for that. As far as selling and going to something else, that's your call on that one. Okay. All right. Zilla says IREN all the way. Yep. Let's see. Zilla, hello, excited to watch live. Awesome. Thanks for coming in as always. Let's see here. Fairfax. Hey Seb, crazy times. Yeah, it's been a nice run here recently. Kaz, Bitfarms convertible note. Yeah, I talked about that. All right. The Hopium face, the Seb Master 3000. All right. Coming up with some nicknames for me, I guess. HD Soluna pumping after hours. Yeah, it's up, going up some more there. That's happy for you guys that are in it. It's definitely doing really well here for you. The Bitcoin Farmer, love the show on Bitfarms. Thank you so much. Yeah, I've been in Bitfarms since like 2022, so I've been in it for a long time. Trimmed a large portion of it back in November, December of last year, as you guys know, but still held on a third of it. I'm happy that I did. SK question, is it still worth to add more Bitfarms at this price? Do you expect it to go to 15 in 2026? Yeah, I think like $10 is doable. 15 would definitely be a little bit on the higher end, unless they get a deal or build out another data center. Right now they're building out the one in Panther Creek in Pennsylvania there. So I think there is possibility for that. I mean, at $10, we're looking at, that would be what, 5 billion market cap on it roughly, right? 15 would be about 7.5 billion. I think that might be doable, right? As long as we continue to have a nice run in AI in general. All right, SK question, BitDeer to 100. They have the potential. They have a lot of megawatts. And then if they execute well on their Neo Cloud for GPUs for AI, then yes, that is a possibility there as well. But we're looking probably in like 2026 sometime, right? Bitcoin Farmer, $25 Bitfarms. I mean, at that point, we're looking at them being valued at, what is that going to be? 12.5 billion right now. Maybe down the road at maybe, end of 2026, maybe 2027, something like that. I don't know. But they got to execute very, very well to get there. Let's see. Fairfax says, yeah, India imports will go down to 25%. Maybe they'll go even lower than that. We'll see. Mortem, some FUD toward IREN because of the poolside deal. Some say it illustrates IREN's value. What do you make of it? Yeah, I saw that report on it. That poolside went with, where they go with CoreWeave, I think. I don't make much of it. The big thing for IREN is obviously to build out their own data centers and plug GPUs in and get customers that way. Right? It could be also that CoreWeave wanted to get them in. I think it's CoreWeave, but might have given a little bit better terms, whereas IREN wasn't going to budge on it, right? So that could be it. All right. Victor C, is it a good time to get into BitDeer since they are going Neo? It might, yeah, I think it might be actually, right? I said Bitfarms would be probably like the next one that I'd possibly buy into if I was going to buy into it yesterday. So yeah, I would say yes. Kevin says Soluna is so manipulated. That's my thought process on it as well. I could be wrong on it, and there maybe is something technically behind the move there, but to me it just looks like it's manipulation on the stock there with low market cap. But if you guys can get into it and get in lower prices and stomach it and go through it and make some great gains, congratulations. Hope you guys make millions out of it. HG says Soluna is a good swing trade. That's what I would call it, as a swing trade for sure. Francesca, hi Seb, do you think Wolf will continue with this run? I do think so. Right, they're getting, well, if they get 3.8 billion in convertible notes, or I think it's 3.8 or 3.2, whatever it is. That's going to obviously give them a nice chunk of change there to build out their data centers even more. So yes, I think they will be on another run there going forward. Okay, East Coast. As more of these companies pivot to HPC AI, who will pick up the mining duties? I think they will still continue to do that. There's a benefit to doing it, right? You can shut them off when you need to, so you can participate in the 4CP programs in Texas and other places as well that require that. So there is there's quite a bit of utility in Bitcoin mining. As long as the price stays nice for Bitcoin and they're still nicely profitable, I think they'll continue to do it. we may just not see these huge growths from these guys anymore, where we saw it in obviously this year and even last year as well. Oh, excuse me, had a burp there. All right, NG, can we see Bitfarms use this convertible note to scale up like IREN and its counterparts? It will be a help towards that, but it's not going to be enough for it. The stock being up nicely priced right now does help also. But yeah, they do have sites, so they could transition some of the sites, but we'll see, right? IREN has been doing this since basically last year, and these guys are all getting into it right now. So we'll have to see how they execute. We know what IREN has been able to execute there. All right, Bitfarms 250. I mean, at 50, you're looking at 25 billion market cap on it. So not anytime soon. Maybe in a couple years, unless they get some great deals or something like that. LOL, the ships just changed their flag. Boom, no longer Russian oil. Okay, wow. Okay, I see what you're saying. Where the ships are delivering the that could be part of it too. Some shenanigans going on there. Morton, the IREN convert has closed. When do you think we get another GPU announcement? I'm hoping soon, right? We'll find out soon enough, I think. They also will be reporting their quarterly results here in a couple weeks. It might be part of that, right? Have a good earnings call, provide an announcement after that as well. Pump the stock up even more. Who knows? Or maybe they do it before then. All right, God's will. Hi, well done, Seb. Have we entered a bear market already, or are we still going to have an extended cycle? No, I don't think we're in a bear market yet. I saw somebody else also thinking about that the bull run in Bitcoin may not start until sometime in 2026 here. So that if that is the case, then that would be along the lines of my thinking of an extended cycle. So I think we're still okay. BTC teetering a nice edge, could blast off or dump again. If it dumps, I don't expect it to dump too much here. Maybe down to 100,000 or something like that. Not the worst. That'd be a 25% drop from where we were roughly. That would be in line with what we have seen here already twice in the last year and a half or so. All right, Victor, question, waiting for some good news from Cypher, Cloud, or Deal. Mike Alfred thinks soon. What are your thoughts? I mean, the way the stock has been acting, it's acting like there's some kind of deal happening right in the background at least. So we'll see. We'll definitely see if that does get reported anytime soon here. Ryan, hit the like, folks. Appreciate that, Ryan. Thank you. Guy, you think there will be a strong resistance around 24-ish, 25-ish since Cleanspark's topped out at that point last year and start to move around 25 unless some concrete news comes out for it? That, and you also have the convertible notes with the, I think the strike, not the strike price, but there's some mechanism at $24 where there's going to be some dilution happening as well. So I think that might have a little bit of resistance there as well. All right. DGHI question, can we get Treasury Corp's list, coin bag size, cap, cash to acquire, plans, for example? Oh, gosh, I don't know. I'm not sure what you're asking there, unfortunately. Ryan says, there's no resistance. Cleanspark to the moon. I would love it to just bypass that resistance completely. If there's so much buying demand, that would be great. Heinzie, Seb, you think Cleanspark will get IREN type of love? It might if it can prove itself, right? So it's always trust but verify with these things. There's a lot of hype around Cleanspark. Mike's been also pumping it recently here. Mike Alfred, that is. So that's good. And if we can continue to have this good progress going forward, then yeah, will it get 100% of the similar love that IREN has gotten? We don't know. Time will tell on that one. But I think Cleanspark has all of the ingredients that it could possibly get that. All right. DGF, Mara finally pumping a bit on acquisition. Did they buy something? I haven't seen that. All right, Rob, what is CAN? Are they a strong company? CAN is a Bitcoin miner, Bitcoin hosting company as well, or Bitcoin mining hosting company, and they also build their own ASICs as well. What exactly do they do? $1.96 a share. It makes you wonder if I should sell all of my Hive and Bitfarms and get 10,000 shares of Canon and let it ride to $6 a share. That's going to be your call, right? I've talked about Canon in the past many times before because people have asked about it as well, and it has not done as well as Bitcoin has done at least, or even some of the miners to compare them with that. I'm not sure why it fell out of love here, but I think recently they've started talking about also maybe getting into HPC So I think that's kind of what's helping the stock there. And it got some good buy ratings and price targets as well from analysts. So I think that's why the stock is running right now, which I would have to do a little bit more due diligence on them and see where they stand in financially, all that other stuff that I always look at. I would have to, dive a little deeper into it to give you a really good answer there. But that's your call there. Trade question: is there any hint that Bittier will get into the HPCI space? Thanks for your good vibes, good videos. Oh, you're very welcome there. And yes, in the update for September production update, right? They stated in there that they didn't stop it, but they let the LOI, letter of intent, from a customer there, a potential customer there, for the Columbus site to run out, basically, which then gives them the full flexibility to build out, which they said they're going to try and do in Ohio site that they have, which is like, I think, 570 megawatts or something like that, coming online in 2026. So it's going to be possibly used for that, and they're going to also try doing that at other sites as well. So that's why the stock was running quite hard here today. All right, HB, what is the main advantage that IREN has over other miners? Just more gigawatts, or is it something about their contracts for the power they get? So I think it's power contracts. I think it's also the way that they've built their sites, which make them pretty easy to retrofit into data centers, right? They're not going to be like the tier 3 data centers, but they're going to be like a tier 1 or a tier 2 data center, more or less. They can upgrade them to a tier 3 if they possibly wanted to, with backup generation and other things that you need for it. But that's kind of the reason why. They've also been in it for about a year and a half or so now, that they've started messing with these GPUs for AI and getting customers that way as well. So they have some experience there where everybody else is trying to get into it and basically get the experience as well. So that's kind of the advantage that they have there. And the megawatts obviously help as well. All right. DGF question: ABTC show quarterly report yet? No, not yet. They will do that coming up here, I guess, in a couple of weeks. That's DGT Alt 5 play, big growth, and BTC mining from them and Treasury. You're talking about the Donald J. Trump company there, I think, DGT. Don't know enough about them to say one way or the other. All right, Trade Rookie, what is the future of DMG? Good question there. DMG is obviously a small Canadian miner, I believe. This is going back to probably a year and a half when I did research on them last, right? When they weren't growing in 2024 to at least like 5x hash or something like that. That was my kind of cutoff line for the miners. So those became like the small miners, and I haven't really kept up with them. So do they have the potential? I would have to look into it, to be honest with you. I'm not going to be able to give you a good answer, unfortunately. All right. Let's see. HP, could you explain what convertible notes means? I know it's different than dilution, but not sure exactly what. A convertible notes, so you get the, how do I explain this? It's like dilution, but the dilution is going to be pushed out a number of years. So a lot of these convertible notes are hitting in 2031. That's when you might have dilution. So there's options that the companies can either buy out the shares, the convertible notes there, with cash, or they can just dilute the shares, and the people that are in them get them that way. And there's some other mechanisms in there as well for like capped calls and things like that. That's, to be honest with you, even beyond my knowledge and expertise. All right. Guys, real question: with the way things are right now, with the stocks and everything else, will you advise someone to still buy the dips on solid projects? On solid projects, yes, I would still possibly advise to buy the dips. We've had obviously a huge run up on these guys here recently, right? From like $4 all the way up to $50, $60, $70. So we've seen huge runs on these, but do they still have potential going forward? So I would say if you think that these guys can still at least at minimum get you a 2x on it, then I would think, yeah, buy the dip, right? If you don't think that they can do at least a 2x from where they are right now, then you might want to hold off, right? So that's kind of the way I would look at it. All right, Victor, question: even if the cipher shorts, they price very strong, hopefully they get a short squeeze once they get good news. Even with the cipher shorts, they price very strong. Hopefully they get a short squeeze. What? Oh, if they get a short squeeze on good news, yeah. Yeah, that would be nice there. Okay, Scorched Earth, Mara marching higher, stream rolling the shorts. It's been underperforming over miners despite a very strong balance sheet. Only a matter of time before they make a major HPCI announcement and fly. Yeah, the balance sheet is actually pretty good. I wouldn't say it's strong. They do have a lot of debt on the convertible note side of things. So that's got to be taken into account always on it. But yeah, I mean, they've been kind of floundering here a little bit recently. But they're still growing in Bitcoin mining. And I mean, they got their little hands in a lot of different businesses and things like that. We'll see if that works out for them. All right, HP. As soon as the CoreWeave and Pulside news came out, iron price action got weak. As an iron bull, I am worried. With all these posts about AI bubble posts on X, I hope iron releases some positive news. Yeah, that would definitely help things, right? But again, the bubble, I don't see it as a bubble yet. I could be wrong, but I don't see it as a bubble yet. It's much, much different from what we saw in obviously the .com bubble. We talked about that in yesterday's stream as well. That was a different time, right? Everybody and their uncle that was coming up with a company with a .com name in it, they were getting huge valuations with really no revenues. The current AI that we are in the space, in the run, in the bull run, whatever you want to call it, I'm not even going to call it a bubble, but in the hype right now is generating revenue for these guys, right? OpenAI is generating, billions of dollars on that. Google is generating, I don't know how many billions of dollars they're generating on that as well. Amazon, Microsoft, all of these guys, even Meta is getting into it, right? Doing all that stuff. So these are all big players that are getting a lot of revenue. Then you're also having these smaller companies, enterprise companies that are getting into it as well for their own uses, which IREN supplies them with the, AI data center or AI compute there for it. Excuse me. So it is completely different from that prior period. And like we just saw here recently, we talked about it from Sundar Pichai at Google, the AI models are now coming up with novel ways of potentially fighting cancer and things like that. So the potential there is enormous. And yeah, I wouldn't call it a bubble yet. I don't think the evaluations have gone up too extreme without revenues to really warrant that. But that's just me. We could be wrong. Okay. All right. Bitcoin Farmer, why no info on Bitfarms short? I will probably add them back in, and because I'm going to keep IREN in my reports, so I'll probably add back in Bitfarms Wolf as well. The reason I removed Wolf and Bitfarms in the past was because they would no longer provide operational updates. Hut 8, same thing with them, but Hut 8 is no longer a Bitcoin miner even. So maybe we won't include that one. Who else do we remove out of there? There might be another one that I think we might have removed out of it. So I'll probably put those back in, and we'll definitely have data on them going forward here. When I get to that, hopefully within the next couple days, maybe a week or so. Okay. All right. Karan, Bitfarms to $20 now. 20's on the high. So let's first get to $8, $10, and then we can start talking about $20. But $20 right now is a little high on that one. All right, Victor C. Cleanspark could buy a new land for NeoCloud. Yes, I mean, they could. It seems like they're looking in Texas right now. Remember, Matthew Schultz, the CEO of Cleanspark, was in Texas last week. So that could be part of it. They might be looking at some sites there. All right. The Asian dietitian, when and why did you decide to sell your and your dad's core stocks if they were at different times, and what did you buy with the profits? Okay, so I sold my cores back last year right around the summertime. I think it was July, August, somewhere around there. I was up on cores about 100% at that point, and I sold it and bought more IREN shares at that point. My dad recently sold cores here in the last, 4 or 5 months. Whenever we got the word or the deal with CoreWeave trying to buy them out, he waited a week or two on that, trying to see where things will go. And he had actually cores in 2 brokerage accounts. He had one and that he got before the bankruptcy there, right? So that was part of the bankruptcy, part of that. So he had also the warrants get it added to that one. And then he also now had another account where he just bought afterwards as well. So that one that he bought afterwards without the warrants, we sold that one, and he bought into IREN at that point, and Cypher as well. So he's up, 200-300% on those as well right now as it is. So he's happy on those. Okay. All right. Bitcoin Farmer, why did you not share short info? Yeah, talked about that, right? They were not in my sheets. They will be going back in there probably though. Eric, BTC has really not taken off. Assuming it does, do you think money will rotate out of the miners into BTC or both will go up or other scenarios? Why? I mean, Bitcoin, yeah. Bitcoin has not done what we thought it was going to do here, at least not yet. If you look at the M2 money supply, there's a bunch of money still on the sidelines, I think. And then if you get also more companies, more countries buying into Bitcoin, that's going to be money that's coming from there. As far as we could also see people obviously rotating out of the miners or AI miners even. If they're up huge, they may want to rotate a little bit into some other things and put money into Bitcoin as well at that point. So that is a possibility there. What other scenarios could there be? If we get any kind of checks from the government, right? I think I saw someplace where they're talking about maybe having the government give us $1,000 or something like that per individual or something like that. That might go into it as well. What else? I mean, those are the types of things I would think at right now, but I'm not too worried about it right now as far as too much money rotating out of the miners into Bitcoin there. R2509, lots of news articles and interviews today on being an AI bubble. A lot of analysts saying the MCS of these miners are very inflated, ATM based on the expected revenue. Thoughts? They're going obviously on potential, right? A lot of these guys at least. That they have megawatts. Megawatts are in high demand. They are going based on the simple fact that AI is going to be a transformational technology. It already is to a certain extent, but even more so going in the future. So if you understand where the future lies with AI, you understand where the need is. And the need is in megawatts right now. You need a lot of megawatts to power these large language models, these large AIs, these, it's all needed. And like we talked about, just one example was possible cures for cancers, other diseases as well. All of those things are going to be a huge, huge potential money-making machines there. So, and they're already making money on it anyway. So I don't know if it's a bubble. I think it's just people are seeing these things going up like crazy a little bit, right? And they're going, "Oh my gosh, it's a bubble. It's got to be a bubble." I don't think so yet. I think there's more. Could we go down? Obviously, in these prices, yes. Could we have a little bit of a pullback? Yeah. But I don't think it's going to be anything that's going to be a bubble burst. Could we go down 20, 30%? Yeah, that could possibly happen on these things. Some cooling off period, possibly. Okay, and then you continue going up here as they announce new deals, announce new partnerships, new customers, new additional megawatts, additional GPUs being purchased, and all that stuff here. So, as long as, well, I think it's going to continue for a while longer. That's just my take on it right now. Okay. All right. Zilo, thoughts on the Wolf 3.2 billion convertibles? I think it's great that they can do it, right? It definitely sets the bar up higher for everybody else to do it because right now everybody's been kind of like at 1 billion, 800 million, 700 million, 1.2 billion, something like that. This definitely sets the bar much higher here. And if they can do that, that's going to be great for everybody else on it. And then if they can build out the data centers that they want and everything else, then yeah. All right. Aladdin, do you think Soluna is a good buy at this current price and what is the target? Soluna is a swing trade. So right now, I think we might have a little bit of a dip coming up here on it. It's had a nice run up here. I'd be cautious. That's just me. But you got to do what you got to do. Okay. Steve says, thanks, Sebastian. You rule, bro. Thank you very much. Massive amount of info. Quantum like speed. I appreciate it. Yeah, I do talk fast because there's a lot of things I want to get out. And if I didn't speak fast, we'd be here for 3 hours. All right, Gustav, hi Seb. What do you think about Bitfarms going forward, and what's your target on them? Aren't they looking stretched? No, I still have them between. They should be probably around $68 right now, in my opinion. Just at the current time being, they do have nice sites in Pennsylvania, Washington as well, and Canada also. I like the fact that they have emphasized more on the United States side of things and going into HPCI as well. That is a good move by them. So I think there's more room for it to run here. But they got to execute, right? Just like everybody else. They can't be just talk. They have to actually do something, right? Action. Action speaks louder than words. So we need some action there. And we do have action from them, so that's good. Ron, hey Seb, hope you're well. I am, thank you. Hope you are too. If I need to enter 2 to 3 positions, what do you think is most undervalued? I'm thinking Mara's on that list there. But And if they announce something for HPCI, then the stock could pop on that. So yes, I would say Mara, I think still Cleanspark in a sense. Hive itself and even Bitfarms there as well are still undervalued in my opinion. All right. Jacob, if Bitcoin price starts rising, should we immediately add to our position in miners like Bitfarms, IREN, Hut, Cleanspark, Wolf, Cypher, etc.? I don't know if you, well, I mean, you can add to it if you want to, but yes, Bitcoin price going up will definitely help these guys. They're going to be generating more revenue, which is good, and that revenue can be used for expanding into HPCI as well. So less dilution that way. So, we'll see. Christopher, King of Sketchy going into Hut like what DJT done for markets, but his son Eric being involved with Hut makes my stomach turn. Trust your gut, I guess. Yeah. Ron, what's your thoughts on MicroStrategy? It's beaten down, but MNAV is holding strong compared to others. MicroStrategy is the queen there of Bitcoin holding, right? Kind of like IREN is of right now in the miner space. As far as the MNAV, yeah. So I've said this before. I've said this many times. I love the fact that they're buying up Bitcoin as much as they can. I love that. I'm not a big fan of the company because if I wanted to buy Bitcoin, I'd buy Bitcoin directly, or through IBIT or something like that. And then, so how much of an MNAV should they really get on the Bitcoin that they hodl? I think maybe a little small premium would be fine, 1.1%. And if Bitcoin goes on a run, they could get to 1.5 or something like that. But that's kind of where I would see things. I mean, we've seen Bitcoin kind of actually go up a little bit here, at least this year. What is it, up 20-some-odd% from, when was it, from the beginning of the year? I can't remember, or from the bottom or something like that, whatever it is. And MicroStrategy still has not done that great here. So I don't know if, with MicroStrategy, if it's because they have too many of these ticker symbols for it, right? They got STRC, I think, which gives out dividends paid out, and then they got other ones as well. Have they just diluted that name brand there too much with everything that they've done there? I don't know if that's the case on it. But yeah, it's definitely not doing anywhere near what it did last year, right? Getting to $540. And then at that point, I said it was overstretched, overextended. It got too high of an MNAV. I said it's going to correct. And sure enough, it did. All right, Richie Rich, what do you think the likelihood is that Hut hits 100 USD? I mean, it's had a nice run up here. I don't know. They could continue to go up there. I mean, it's got name recognition because of the Donald Trump family there, and Anthony Pompliano as well. So it's got some people that are definitely backing it up there. Okay, JB has a question. Okay, but the question's missing there. AJ, please share Hive and Can short-term targets. Hive, I think short-term should be at least higher from where it's at right now. Let me pull this up. Yeah, I have it between 934 and 1402. Canon, I don't have any info on them, so I don't know where they should be, but obviously we saw a price target from analysts on them around, what was it, like $8 or something like that. So there's kind of where you could look at those. There was a question. Do you think Riot is finally going to catch up with Cleanspark? As far as market cap, Bitcoin production, what are we asking here? No, because there's many ways they can catch up. AJ, why Bitfarms price go down after market? The 300 million convertible note, that's always going to be a short-term catalyst to drive the stock down a little bit. All right. JB, question. I'm looking for exit on Cleanspark. It seems like on the monthly, it really wants to go straight to 30, at least maybe higher always. Tough to know when to exit. Where could we see a pullback to? Where do I think we could see a pullback? That I don't know, to be honest with you, on these things. If we do get a pullback, I think it's going to be short-lived unless something happens out more generally in the economy and world aspects of things like that. That's kind of where I'd be looking at. But if you get a dip, buy the dip eventually. But if you want to take profits on it, take profits up slowly, I guess. Dollar cost average out of it the same way as you would dollar cost average into something. That became my way of doing it. But that's going to be completely up to you. And what works best for you is you only know that. All right. Victor, which three miners are still most upside from the current prices? Oh, gosh, most upside? I mean, if we were talking things being fair and equal, like I said before, I think Hive, Bitfarms, and Cleanspark still have potentially more upside, but you just never know with those things, right? I mean, that's kind of where we've been even last year, going back to where I think things should be valued properly. They weren't, right? It didn't make any sense the way that they were being valued at all. So I would say those guys, but it might be IREN that does the best. So I would say be diversified as much as you can be. on these. Let's see. Rob, with regards to Hive, what news are we expecting next and when? Oh gosh, don't know on that one. Maybe some more details on the partnership that they're doing with Canada Bell there. Maybe some more info on that. If they buy a site or something like that for that as well. What else could we see from them? Installation of their hash rate, right? How close are they getting to 25 exahash before the end of November, right? Which is targeting Thanksgiving holiday. So that's kind of what I would expect, more or less. All right, NG, what if Bitfarms have GPUs contract with AMD and NVIDIA? What happens? Well, if they have them with both, that's great, right? Let's see. What do you think about the retail sector currently right now? It has been getting beaten down by tariffs. Retail? What do you mean by retail? Retail investors or just retail like businesses in general? If that's the case, I really don't know. I don't do much shopping. I only do shopping when I need to. My wife does all the shopping. But like clothes and things like that, I do that maybe once or twice a year. I'll just go out and buy what I need for the next year, and I'm done. I hate shopping. Don't like to do shopping. Waste of time. I wish I could just have like one type of shirt, one type of pants, and just wear that. Buy like 5, 7 of those things and just wear that. I don't even want to think about what I have to wear. You get older, you get kind of like, I don't want to think about these things. I just want to go do the things I want to do. All right, Bevney, if you had to buy one, Bit Digital or Canon, I would probably go with, the hard part with Bit Digital is that they have their subsidiary for white fiber there, right? Canon, if they get into HPCI as well, that might be a better play there. So that's kind of where I would go on that one. That's kind of where I would go. All right. Oops. Let's see here. Des Market Stats. Good evening, Seb and Miner family. Are you adding Bitfarms back on your spreadsheet? I will probably be adding that one back because now we have also IREN not reporting anymore. So we're having more and more of these guys now report. So I'll probably add it back in. We'll just not do the monthly updates on it, but we'll put it back in for like short interest, things like that. Then we can keep an eye on these guys. All right, Sarah Mellon, Bitcoin's performance this year is embarrassing, only a few grand higher than January. Yeah, that's why I keep saying this might be an extended cycle, right? Because just of the price action that we're seeing with Bitcoin here. It's going up much, much, much more slowly than we would have seen in prior cycles. All right, DGF question, can we get a treasury corpse list, coin bag size, cap, cash to acquire plans for expansion? We cover a lot of that stuff already. As it is for Canon, though, Canon's a small miner when it comes to these things. I'll have to think about it, right? My line in the sand for the miners was 5 exahash last year. If they had to get to that at least to be in my list, and then this year was going to be like 15 to 20 exahash. So if they're not in that makes it a little bit more tough because they're definitely smaller size. But yeah, I understand why you guys would want to see the information on those guys. JB, Cleanspark Kit 2425, are they going to dilute for sure? There's going to be some dilution happening there. I'm not exactly sure how much. It's part of the warrants or part of the convertible notes that they have. That's always, everybody has that. IREN had the same thing. They went through it and the stock continued to go up higher. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. DGF Mara is buying EDF's HPC majority stake. LF Go. Okay, so they're buying the rest of it there. When did that come out? Did that come out just recently? Might have missed that one. Let's see here. And Andre, thank you so much for all the great work you do. Thanks to your analytical abilities and experience, you have helped many to improve their financial and get closer to their dreams. I appreciate that. I'm happy. I played a small part in that, but that was you guys as well. You guys, spent the time. You guys did the due diligence, and you actually pulled the trigger on buying what the things you bought there. So I just tried to provide you guys with the best data that I could on it. Let's see. Surprisingly, you only have 15,000 members on your channel. Your information is really priceless. Thank you. You're very welcome, and thank you for that. Yeah. SH, do you think the new CFO for Bitfarms orchestrated this convertible notes announced today? I don't think so, because Jeff is still there for a while. He's still towards the end of the month, I think, is his last day. So I don't know. I don't think so. It was announced yesterday that he got hired. Not sure if he started yet. I don't think so. Not yet. It'd be too close. Rob, any chance of Hive being bought out because of its lucrative potential? I don't think so. The sites that might be appealing would be the ones in Canada and the ones in Europe. The other sites they have in Paraguay or Argentina, I don't know if those are that maybe. I mean, they obviously have great rates at those for electricity and things like that, but I don't know. I know it. All right. Dad's market stats. Bank earnings are looking good so far in Q3. I've been keeping an eye on that as well. Those are doing good. Jonathan, what's a realistic price target for Bitfarms? I'm thinking around 13 USD. Would you say that's reasonable compared to its peers? I think that is still reasonable. I think somewhere between $6 and $10. Excuse me, in the next a couple months, and then next year we could possibly get to 13, right? All right, AJ, CORZ future if CoreWeave deal cancels. I think the stock will actually pump on that news potentially, and then we might see a re-rating of the stock obviously there if that happens. I think that's kind of what I would expect it to do, because right now it's kind of locked into where it's at because of CoreWeave, right? Can't go much higher unless CoreWeave goes up in price. Which broker account is more user friendly, and which one do you use more often? So I have a couple of them. I think some of the newer ones that are out there, like Robinhood, Webull, are much more user friendly, I think, or at least they provide better optionality for applications for like your desktop and your phone and things like that than some of the old stalwarts. E-Trade, Schwab, right? Those guys. So I think those newer ones are easier to use, but obviously the older guys have a heck of a lot more. There's more comfort, I guess you could say, with it. You know that they're not going under anytime soon. So pick your vice there, I guess. All right. What's your price target for Mara this year and this cycle? If they get into HPCI as well, I mean, we could be obviously much higher from where they are right now. They do have plenty of megawatts under their belt. 65% of their stuff is owned that they have right now. And I mean, they could still run very, very well there. I don't know where the price would be though. Right. Let's see. AJ, any new news on any stock? Nothing that I've seen here. All right. Game01 says they will rotate from gold to Bitcoin. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I mean, gold has had a nice rally as well. That could definitely be a possibility there. The machine. Is it true that Cleanspark might get involved with the government like Intel, MP Materials? Cleanspark is the most efficient miner to produce Bitcoin. The government wants to put Bitcoin in the treasury. I don't see that happening, to be honest with you. They're one of the best ones to mine it. IREN actually has them beat as far as cost is a little bit there. But yeah, I mean, they have a lot of sites across the United States, 33 sites in what, 4 states now or 5 states? I can't remember. But yeah, I don't see that happening, to be honest. Alex, what is Bitfarms short interest? Let me see here if I can pull this up really quick. Take a look at it here right now. Bitfarms, where is it at? There it is. Okay, short interest. Actually, it's here for 930. It's 46.9 million shares shorted. So about 10%, right? If they got 500 million shares out there, roughly 10% shorted there. And it's down from where it was on 915 at 59 million there. So it is down. And you guys can see that I'm looking at my Webull app here. Okay. All right. John says, thanks, Seb. What are your thoughts on Riot over the next 3 to 6 months? That will depend on any kind of news that they can provide us on HPCI progress, right? Where are they with that? Where are they with customers on that? Are they going to be going their own way like IREN is, right? So we need more details on it, but I think it will follow with the other miners as well. If those guys all go up, if they get deals, that will also pump them up on that news as well. Right, kind of re-rates everybody in this class here. Let's see. SK, Cleanspark or BitDeer to buy now? BitDeer has more megawatts in the development stage than Cleanspark does. Okay, BitDeer also makes their own ASICs. They're getting close to Cleanspark when it comes to Bitcoin mining as well. I think they have a lot of potential there. My only kind of nitpick of them has always been that they have some ties, some potential ties with China. But yesterday's stream I said, this might be the next one to invest in as well. But Cleanspark having a lot of sites in the United States could be, I don't know. Right now, I still think Cleanspark is probably more undervalued than BitDeer. And let's see where BitDeer's at today. Let's see, we do have the latest data for them. I do have BitDeer between $23 and $35, right? They're $25, so they're at least in that range there. Whereas I probably should show this to you guys, probably would help. So here's the latest that I have on them, $23 to $35. Cleanspark right now, I have them between 22 and 34. They're in there as well, pretty close. I mean, so it's a tie right now with those guys, to be honest, as far as what I'm seeing here at least. Okay. Tough decision there for sure. And I guess it'll depend on how fast they can build out their HPCI business. That's what it's going to come down to, I think. Okay, Marty, thank you so much for the super chat. Seb, I feel like I'm tripping out my blackjack dealer by sending you the super chat tip, but I'm not going anywhere. Just wanted to say thank you for your sage education. Helps clarify things on mine. Okay, you're very welcome, and thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate that. Let's see here. Morton, Mike Alfred tweeted that he is making a big announcement Monday morning, and it's not about board seats. Sounds miner related. Might be. We don't know, right? We'll have to wait until Monday what that announcement is. Some have speculated that he's going to be joining the Cleanspark board or team there somehow. I don't think that can happen. I think that would be a conflict of interest because he's obviously on the IREN board there. So I don't know. We'll find out. Aladdin, what's your thoughts on BTC? It's been sideways and October looks down-tober or side-tober. And will miners continue their march till end of the year? I think they will continue their march till the end of the year based on AI potential. As far as Bitcoin here, if we are going to be in an extended cycle, this is kind of what I would expect with Bitcoin, just to go up slowly over time. Yeah, but it's also being hugely impacted by the tariffs, I think. Whether rightfully so or not, that's neither here nor there. But I think over time Bitcoin will go up. It's just going to take a little bit longer, I think. And the good thing is the miners are pivoting to AI, which obviously is helping their stock price, which is also helping our bags. So I love seeing that. All right. And Andre. I think it's Andre. Seb, is this the same cannon that I was paying $6 to $12? And yeah, that's the same one. That is the same one. J. Cole, super chat. Thank you so much for the $10. Always a quality content. Greatly appreciate that. Thank you, Sadie. Thank you so much for the likes there. Chillaxing. I seen IREN jump to $5 per share right at 7 p.m. It lasted about 10 seconds. Was this due to a big purchase? I'd never seen this before. I don't know. It might be. All right. Tom Harrison, question late to the talk. Was watching Blue Jays while. Why did Hut move so much again? Not really any news there. I'm not sure. Kevin's back here. Seb cashed out 10%. Do you leave 10% at a time? Is that too much or too little? I mean, that's going to depend on you, to be honest there, as far as how much you take out. I haven't taken out anything yet, but I'm getting itchy to take out something there to at least lock in some gains. But maybe I'm looking at this wrong. I do believe that there's still a lot more to go for AI. And it's going to be a number of years that we're going to continue to go up, right? So I don't think we're in a bubble yet, but that's going to be everyone's own decision whether or not to take profits. Everybody's situation is different. Everybody has different risk tolerances on these things, and there's never any shame in taking profits. So if you're in profits and you're on the sideline of it or on the fence on it, whether or not you should, you probably should, right? I know I'm not going to be able to pick time the top perfectly. I know that for a fact. So I'll either start selling a little too early or I'll start selling a little too late as we go on the downside of things. I don't know when that's going to be. We're keeping an eye on things. That's the best I can do right now, at least. All right. DeFi says, Luna up over $4. I sold at $2. Yeah, that's the hard part there. Yeah, you just never know. Yeah, lots of sell orders at $4.24 for Cleanspark. Can that drop the stock price? I think it will hold it back a little bit, but I don't think it's going to drop the price. I think the $24 is the convertible notes dilution point there, I believe. Okay. All right. Dom's got a question here. I hate clothes shopping also. Girls seem to love it. You can actually see them smiling with their friends when they have a couple of bags full leaving the store. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my wife loves it too, which is great because then she goes shopping for my boys as well. And sometimes I go with my boys as well, but for the most part, I hate shopping. I would just rather order it online if I have to. If I don't like it, I can return it. I don't have to waste that time there. Right? That is one thing that is universal in life. You never get more time back. And for me, having to go and look through things and to buy something that I have to wear, that's a waste of time for me. All right. CBS. Is Bitfarms now becoming a revaluation toward becoming an HPCI giant? I wouldn't say a giant, but yeah, they're definitely going towards that right now. All right, JB, thank you so much for all you do. Said we might not all like it like we should, but we all appreciate your time and expertise. I appreciate that. Thank you. DGHI question, Coin Treasury Corps rankings. Can we get Treasury Corps list, coin bag size, cap, cash to acquire plans? So you're talking about the Bitcoin Treasury companies there. I don't know if it's worth the time there, to be honest with you. We've obviously seen them underperform here recently. I don't know. I'll think about it, but I don't know. If there's a lot of interest in that, maybe. All right, so Bitcoin is under a major manipulation. Do not sell your Bitcoin and miners. Okay. Fairfax, thanks, Seb, for keeping the focus. It's paying off now. It is. It's been a long time, but it is paying off now for sure. Mr. X, Sebastian, what's your... Sebastian, you're not a big fan of Mara. Why again? Mara... Okay, there's at times where it operates fantastically. It has a great month, right? Mines the most Bitcoin and is the most efficient at things, and it runs great. And then for the next couple months, it's going down again on production-wise. So their production and operations have never been consistent. They've always seem to have some kind of issues with it. That I don't like the fact that they are also diluting all the time to hodl everything. I can understand for a certain period of time, but I'm not a big fan of companies just diluting to keep Bitcoin. Always, right? So I'm not a big fan of that. And then the other part of it was the stock-based compensation, the high compensation for C-suite there as well. Not a big fan of that. What else was there with them as well? That I think it was just the operation side of things, right? That's kind of the main reasons why, I guess, on that one. And I do praise them when they do well, right? When they have a great month, I do praise them when they do well. If you guys are in Mara, I want you guys to do well. I don't want anybody to get left behind. I want everybody to do well here, and I would like Mara to, start going up for you guys. And it has done pretty good here recently, at least. Senketh, do you own Mara stock? It seems like you're not a big fan of Mara or don't particularly like it. I did own Mara for a couple of months there, right? Me and another guy on X made a deal that if I buy Mara, he would buy, I think, Cleanspark and IREN. So I bought Mara. He ended up doing much better on that deal than I did because I was up on Mara when I sold it. I'm like, I'm not holding on to this thing. I was up, 4% on it or something like that. And I think at that point he was up much, much higher on IREN and Cleanspark. So, yeah. I want them to do well, though. But they can't focus on one thing. It's always a bunch of things that they're trying to do. And I don't know if that's a lack of focus there. That's why maybe the stock is not also performing that well. Maybe. I don't know. All right. Harris, it looks like Riot is weakening in terms of volume. Do you see it continuing its uptrend? All it's going to take is one good news story on some kind of AI deal or something, or progress in an AI deal, and the stock is going to continue to run. So I do think that's going to probably continue. Rob, what deals are we talking about concerning the miners getting? As far as deals, that would be co-location deals, right? Leasing deals or something like that, or if they get actual customers for their GPUs that way as well, kind of like IREN. Right. Rob, question, thoughts on Bit Digital looking to take some profits and getting more BitDeer? Bit Digital, as you know, has transitioned to becoming an Ethereum holding company, basically. So they're making yields on the staking of Ethereum. They divested themselves of Bitcoin mining, I believe. I think they're out. I'm not sure if they're out completely, but I think they're out. And they spun off their white fiber business into its own entity with its own ticker symbol and all that stuff, but they still own a big portion of it there. So I think I like probably white fiber more than I like Bit Digital itself. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of treasury holding companies, whether it's Bitcoin or Ethereum. But that's just my take. I could be wrong. Okay, does market stats? Bitfarms is one of the most traded stocks this week. Good for swing trade as well. Maybe not even a swing trade, but maybe for a trade for a little bit longer trade there. NG, what I meant by retail is retail stocks like Target, Nike, Lulu, they are all getting beaten down from the tariffs from Trump. Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff is made in overseas in China and things like that. So yeah, they're going to get beaten down. So we do need we need the trade war to be over with, right? I know we want to make more things in the United States, which I think is a very valiant effort there. And I think in time we will get there as we get more robots and AI and things like that. I think more that can come here and be able to do it at a much lower price as well, right? So we'll see. All right. Karan says, I'm up 318% of Bitfarms. Congratulations there. Yeah, I passed 200 and something percent today on it. I can't remember exactly where it was. But yeah, that was nice to see that one being up nicely for me as well. Might have been even close to like 300% as well. Deflate. Cleanspark CEO keeping saying TikTok in his tweet. What news do you think that could be new data center in Texas? Well, he says that TikTok, a new block basically, right? You get a new block every 10 minutes basically. I think that's more or less why, but he's kind of playing on that theme more or less. Yeah, I think new data center in Texas is a possibility there. We saw him in Texas last week meeting with the governor of Texas and with Mike Alfred there. So yeah, there's a possibility that there might be a site coming in Texas. We'll see. All right. NG, how many shares to be a Bitfarms multi-millionaire? Look at Ben with his buyout before this run. Yeah, I mean, he bought, he's up nicely as well. But I think depending when you got into it, so if you had, I don't know, 100,000 shares, I mean, you would have had to have maybe $1 per share. You would have needed to have, 250,000 shares? You'd be a millionaire right now, I guess. Right, with the stock going up to $4, or even higher than that now. What is it at $6 now, something like that? So yeah, it's doable. Mr. X, can Cleanspark pump its share price easily by just announcing purchase of NVIDIA chips for HPCI? I think that would pump it. We've seen it obviously with IREN, so I think it would work the same, but that is yet to be seen. All right, chillaxing sold some gains yesterday. Hated to do it, but I was able to pay off over $28,000 in credit card debt. Still have over $100,000 left in my cash account. Thank you. Awesome. That's great. Yeah, I mean, whenever you can pay off debt, that's awesome there. Victor C, if the U.S.-China deal is settled on the 1st of November, could it be the beginning of a bull market? Yes, I believe so. Jacob, people need to send super chats or buy memberships. Too many soaking up the big data he provides. Fork over some of the fiat and support this amazing creator and channel. I appreciate that. Thank you. Rob, what is considered the range of slow to medium to high concerning exahash rate? Okay, what is considered the range of slow to medium to high concerning exahash rate? I'm not sure what you're getting at there, slow to medium. Growth-wise, as far as how much the hash rate is growing there, or as far as ASICs, I'm not sure what you're asking there. All right. Tom Harrison question said, what are some telltale signs of a bubble if you know? A bubble when the fundamentals are right. Fundamentals. So if a company's generating revenue and it's getting valued at 100x of that or something like that, that's you're in a bubble at that point, right? That shouldn't be that high. Where we are right now with these guys being 20, 30, 40 PE of earnings and things like that, I think that's still within good range. We're not in a bubble yet. So when you see those types of things where these guys are making, in a year potentially making only $1 billion and they're being valued at, 200 billion or something like that, that might be a bubble, or something like that. All right, anti-question, not question of all questions, when to take profits on Bitfarms' hard part. That is always the hard part. That's going to be up to you. I'm still holding on to it. We'll see where they ride into the sunset later on this year and to next year as well. I'm in it for the little bit longer run here, right? I'm not, and the reason I can do that is because I'm not in any financial pain or strain or anything like that where I would need to take profits in order to possibly pay off. I mean, I could pay off the card payments and things like that, but I'm generating enough revenue from my regular day job to pay for those things and still be able to, live a pretty good life here. So I don't need to do those things right now. And I can hold off on selling these things for a little bit longer there. But eventually I do want to sell, right? But I just don't want to sell myself short too much at least. I know I'm going to, like I said, I know I'm not going to be able to pick the top perfectly. I'll be either early on it or I'll be a little bit late. One way or another, we'll be selling though. Victor C says, appreciate all your answers. Well, thank you for that. And I appreciate you guys coming in here. We've been going on for, over an hour and a half already. We're close to an hour and a half. Trying to catch up here. Andrea, Mara, Riot, Cleanspark, Hive, Bitfarms, and IREN. No other miners matter. These are the top ones. You've been wrong about a lot of these miners. I've been wrong about them? Maybe. These are the top ones. You've been wrong about a lot of these miners. I've been wrong. I've been wrong on them as far as running on Bitcoin. Yeah, I would agree with you there. Bitcoin isn't running. They're running on AI right now. So, but we got into the miners that had good growth as far as Bitcoin mining, which obviously led to more megawatts being available for them. So that kind of helped out there. I will say that at least. Mr. X, why is Hut 8 up so much this year? They had Anthony Pompliano get into them. They've had obviously the Trump family get into them as well. They are also building out, 1 point some gigawatts of sites right now as well. So that's helping them out. They spun off their Bitcoin mining with American BTC. They still are a major owner in that as well. So they're taking that stuff off their books, basically putting it on American BTC there. So that's helping things out, clear up the books a little bit. I think that's it. I think it's just also the name recognition of Trump, right? Anthony Pompliano, that helped out. But yeah, they're just kind of clearing things up here from their original merger with Hut 8 and what was it at that point? American Bitcoin, or can't remember it now. USBTC. All right, a DeFi price target for IREN and Cleanspark end of year. IREN could get to $100 plus. Cleanspark, I'd like to see that one to get at least to like $40, right? Somewhere around there. All right, Desmarket stats. I wear a uniform for work. It's so much easier to get ready to work. Yeah, that would make it easy, right? You put on the same thing and you're good to go. Emmett, hey Seb, how close Cleanspark is announcing the AI pivot? I mean, they've already mentioned it, that they are working towards that. They've also, CEO Matt has met with Mike Alfred, and Mike Alfred seems to be bullish on them. He sees them going the same route as kind of IREN is, so I think that is a good move there. And how much gigawatt capacity they already have. So they have a pipeline of an additional, 1.7 gigawatts, I think it is. Right? But like I keep saying, pipeline is a pipe dream until you actually sign the contracts for the land, for the power there and all that stuff here. So they do have potential, but we'll see. All right. Rob Wong, why would anyone buy an expensive $20 Bitcoin mining stock when you can get 3x as much shares with a $6 stock like Bitfarms or Hive? You could, but there's also less upside potential with those as far as their growth potential going forward. So that's another thing you have to also take into consideration there. All right. Abhilash, question, how would market react if Trump tariffs are squashed by Supreme Court next month? Its impact on stocks? Well, I think it would be a positive, right, at that point, that if the sitting president can't just willy-nilly decide tariffs on individual countries there, right? It does have to be done by Congress to have him be in there. We'll find out. Let's see. Chillaxing. I have another account that is an old rollover IRA account that was 95,000 in April, but is now worth 363,000. I can't tell anyone because I'm scared they'll ask me for money. So I told you all. Great. Well, luckily we don't know you, right? I don't think anybody knows you here by your original name, so that's good. But congrats on that. That's awesome. Alex, Bitfarms short interest on September 30th, 2020 was 46.9 million shares, representing 8.7 of float. So that's not too bad there. Power. Hi Seb, thanks for the update. What do you think about Cathedra and their 30 megawatt? They split 31 after the bell. Oh gosh, I haven't looked at that one in a long time. I don't even know. Where's the stock price on that one now? Watch Nicholas says IREN $100 Cleanspark 60 by end of year. Okay, that'd be awesome. That's even higher than what I was thinking. Does market stats? Which miner will have the next M&A activity and when? Merger and acquisitions. I don't know if they're going to be acquiring anything, to be honest with you guys here. They might buy some data center sites maybe, but everything's being valued so high right now. It may not make sense. It might make more sense to build out. That's my 2 cents on that. All right. Rob, with regards to the exahash rate, I'm talking about the speed, i.e. slow to medium to fast. Well, right now, the exahash rate is still going up, even though we're seeing obviously a lot of these guys here not growing, but obviously BitDeer is growing quite nicely here still. Bitfarms, even Riot is growing. Mara is still growing. Cleanspark in a sense is also growing to 60 exahash. They still have some growth left, but we haven't seen that recently here. The speed at which it's growing, the percentage gains are getting smaller as far as increases in network hash rate have gone slower, but we're also seeing much higher figures. So it's the same thing where we saw before, where we saw much higher increases in percentage-wise in the past, with less amount being added, more or less. But because you were small, right? It doesn't take that much to grow quickly, percentage-wise. So that's kind of what we're seeing there as far as range. As far as what is the range there? I mean, we're at what is it, zettahash now? Above that a little bit. We're going to continue to go up from there, I think. But range-wise, yeah, I mean, it's kind of all over the place on a daily. Guy, you were right about the miners. Love you, Seb. Thank you for that. Cypher still a buy? Yeah, I think so. I think they're still a buy. Buy them on the dips if you can, but that's neither financial advice, right? You got to do what you got to do. Mr. X, Seb was super right on IREN. He even sold some Cleanspark to buy it. Was that your best move so far? Yes, that has been. Actually, I got to say, getting into WGMI, which is the ETF for the miners, back in January of 2023 was my best move. I plowed all that I had in my retirement account into that ETF pretty much. That one and BitQ as well. But WGMI was my biggest one there. I put probably 90% of it into that one. And that is up huge right now. So that's my best performer there. After that, it would be, selling some Cleanspark to buy IREN shares last year once I saw that they were, on a nice trajectory to grow in exahash, megawatts as well. So that was, that was the right thing to do at that point. All right. Dad's Market says, Stat says, I would say buy every dip of Bitfarms, not financial advice. I'm with you there. I would say buy the dips, and I've been buying a lot of dips. DeFi altcoins got killed. Maybe buying opportunity. Black Swan events always is a good time to buy. Just need altcoin season. Could be worth it if we get an altcoin season, right? We're seeing those things underperform here as well. DeFi, any HPC miner that haven't ran, you are looking into. I mean, all these guys have kind of run a little bit. A big one that hasn't run is obviously Mara. If they do come out with something on that, that could run that stock up much higher. Who else? I mean, just position yourself as best you can right now as it is. All right. Emmett, are you more bullish on Bitfarms, Cypher, or Cleanspark? Good question there. Cypher, I know, has more megawatts potential right now than Cleanspark has. I think, I'm bullish on all these guys here, to be honest with you guys. Which one I'm more bullish on? I don't know. Cleanspark has been kind of like my baby since the beginning. So, I don't know. If you look at megawatts, I would say probably Cypher currently. But things can change, okay? All right. Chillaxing Super Chat. Thanks so much for the $1.99 there. Thanks for all the hard work. You're very welcome. Thanks for coming in. Rob, I like the fact that Hive is using NVIDIA GPUs. Yeah, they've been using it for a long time there. Tom Harrison, does anyone here put their money in a TFSA contribution in kind account where if you lose, you can't claim loss, but if you win, there is no capital gains cost in Canada. Oh, that I don't know on Canada side of things. Mr. X super sticker there, $1.49 from Mr. X. A Banana, thank you very much. Mr. X, thanks for streaming and not giving up when the miners were almost out. Yeah, I still believed in the miners at that point. I believed in Bitcoin actually having a better run than it has, but luckily enough for us, the megawatts that the miners did have are tremendously helping, make these guys run here now. So a win is a win nonetheless. We'll take it. Okay. And let's see, we got one more from DeFi coming in here as well, and we'll call it a day because we're going on an hour and a half here. And I got to get to sleep. DeFi, what is an opportunity in Amazon stock? Might be good long run, only up like 5% for a year. LOL. Amazon they've been killing it in obviously AWS and data centers and things like that. So, and they're building out also. Might not be a bad one to play also. All right, we're going to call it a day here. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. We'll see where we end up at with miners and everything else. And we'll get into some other metrics on the miners since they all have reported right now. So we'll definitely take a look at those things as well, as far as which ones were best in the month of September, which ones, we'll look at all the data that we have, right? We'll slowly do it over though. DeFi is saying here, Cleanspark is a major sleeper and they have BTC to fund it. Yes, they do. Tom Harrison says, awesome, Seb, awesome. Mr. X, thanks, Sebastian. You're all very welcome. And thank you so much for coming in here and spending an hour and a half with me while I ramble on these miners and with you guys here. So really appreciate you all. Love you all. I hope you guys have a great night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, bye.